In Zimbabwe, where following a win for his second term in office, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has promised to work with all Zimbabweans from across the political divide. He has also pledged to leave no place or person behind in the implementation of his economic development agenda. In the just concluded presidential election, Mnangagwa was declared the winner with 52.6% of the votes. His main rival, Nelson Chamisa, got 44%. With the latest from Zimbabwe's capital, Harare, here is CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya for the details.
Just hours after being declared winner, Emerson Mnangagwa was magnanimous.
I thank most heartily all those who contested in these elections, in particular the presidential candidates. There are no winners or losers, but one united people of Zimbabwe. Thus far, we have shamed our detractors who wish to see us divided and in harmony.
But his victory is being disputed by the opposition Citizens Coalition for Change.
The Electoral Board, ZEC, regrettably and once again failed to perform its constitutional mandate by not announcing the correct and the accurate results. Notwithstanding the flaws of the election, genuine results should have been announced.
The opposition claims results signed off at polling stations do not tally with the final results announced by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. Chamisa says he has evidence that shows he's the winner. Zimbabwe's election was marred by some irregularities, according to some observers. Ballot papers were delivered so late to some polling stations, voting had to be extended by a day. And there were also reports of voter intimidation. These issues and others were cited by regional and international observers as making the election below the expected standard, an assessment that has not gone down well with the government.
Yes, I'm aware that some observer missions went beyond their call of duty and began interrogating legislation passed by our parliament. I don't think it is in the mandate of election observers to interrogate institutions of a sovereign government.
However, that stance may sour relations with other nations.
Instead of acknowledging what all other election observers and the ordinary citizens and the electoral management body itself even acknowledged its own weaknesses. So what we then expect is for the government to accept that there were challenges with this election. Attacking an election observer mission that is representing the regional body will further isolate Zimbabwe.
The opposition says it will pursue all means to resolve the electoral dispute. It has 14 days to challenge the election results in court. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Harare, Zimbabwe.
The largest wildfire ever recorded in the European Union, which is currently found in Greece, is continuing to pose a serious threat to the country as it closes in on the capital city of Athens. This report from Margaret Percasio.
Despite firefighting efforts from several countries in the European Union, wildfires in Greece have been burning for the 10th consecutive day, and officials are growing increasingly worried as the blazes close in on the capital city, Athens. This comes as the Greek government has arrested 140 people with wildfire-related charges, including 79 charged with arson, whom Greece Civil Protection Minister Vasilis Kikilias told, quote, "You are committing a crime against the country," end of quote. Quote, "Arsonists are setting fires that threaten forest, property, and most of all, human lives," end of quote. Quote, "You will not get away with it. We will find you. You will be held accountable," end of quote. Currently, fire crews, military, and volunteers are struggling to bring the wildfires under control. With firefighting forces stretched to the limit, Greece has called for help from other European countries. Germany, Sweden, Croatia, and Cyprus have sent aircraft, while dozens of Romanian, French, Czech, Bulgarian, Albanian, Slovak, and Serb firefighters are helping on the ground. Since the fire started on August 19th, at least 20 people believed to be migrants, including 2 children, have been found dead in Greece. The largest fire is currently raging near the city of Alexandroupoli and is the largest wildfire ever recorded in the European Union, according to EU Commissioner for Crisis Management, Yanis Nenarčič, as more than 70,000 hectares of area has now been burned. Meanwhile, across the whole of Greece, reports say wildfires have burned through 1.3 billion square meters or 130 hectares so far, an EU record, according to the European Forest Fire Information System. Many who call this area home will have nothing to come back to. It can be noted that wildfires are common across Greece during summer, although recent hot, dry weather has provided ideal conditions for them to spread. Last month, 20,000 tourists were reportedly evacuated from roads following fires on the popular tourist island. This is Margaret Parkasha reporting. SMNI News.
The number of families affected by Typhoon Guring, known for its international name Saula, reaches thousands. Sigrid Castañeda has the details.
Over 2,300 families, or nearly 8,000 individuals, have been affected by Typhoon Guring in the Philippines since last week, according to a report provided by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC. As of Monday, the affected individuals were from Regions 1, 2, Car, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and Region 6. NDRRMC also recorded more than 500 families who are temporarily sheltered in evacuation centers. No casualties, missing or injured people have been reported. Meanwhile, Philippine authorities estimate the value of destruction of infrastructure at around 40 million pesos. NDRRMC meanwhile expects the number of people affected by the onslaught of the typhoon to increase in the coming days.
Taas yung mga red alert sa ating mga regional offices na posibleng maapektuhan at posible pang yung mga nasa blue alert or white alert pwede pang itaas yan anytime para mas matutukan, especially sa western seaboard, dito sa western side of Central Luzon, sa southern Luzon, sa western Visayas, sa western Mindanao, kasi dun yung epekto ng habagat na pinaikting Guring.
NDRRMC spokesperson Director Edgar Posadas thanked the local government officials and their constituents for their cooperation. Meanwhile, the State Weather Agency Pag-asa forecasted Typhoon Guring to leave the Philippine area of responsibility on Thursday. Reporting this has been Sigrid Castañeda, SMNI News.